Hello, everybody. Again, we're trying to do another show here, another Bitcoin news show, another week. So that means another week of Bitcoin news. I got a couple of guests on today. We try to do this every Saturday, but we're actually thinking about moving it towards Mondays, Monday evenings. If you could give us some feedback, that'd be great to see what you guys would think. If you could join us in the World Crypto chat room, you could speak to people like Thomas. Here we have Thomas Mad Bitcoins is joining us in the show today. How you doing, Thomas?
Good morning, Bitcoins. It's great to be with you. Can you guys see the bridge in the background?
We can, and it is beautiful.
It is awesome.
There it is. So yeah, just hanging out down by the bridge, chilling.
Awesome. And then I got my friend, partner in crime. He's been my friend for a number of years. We started a number of projects together. His name's Jose. How you doing, Jose?
Heidi ho.
We have we got a couple of experts in here tonight talking about Bitcoin news. We're going to go ahead and kick it off. We're going to start with the first story. Actually, right before we do that, if anybody's joining us in the room, we're going to try to do something a little slightly different tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and put a topic out there, but after I go ahead and ask everybody about the topic, I'd like you to go ahead and click on the hands on the people's icons and go ahead and click on the people's hands to see what you think who answered the topic best, who answered it the best. So let me paste in the first story for the evening, and that is the SEC approves the plan to issue stock via the Bitcoin blockchain. So let me paste that in. So first I'm going to ask Thomas Mad Bitcoins. I'm going to ask you first, and then we'll go to Jose. So Mad Bitcoins, tell me, what do you think about this crazy story? Is this some kind of precedent that has been set, or what do we have here?
I think it's more great news for Bitcoin and the incredible immutable ledger. We can trade anything for Bitcoin, and now, thanks to Patrick Byrne, the CEO of Overstock, we can trade stocks. It's really exciting news.
Awesome stuff. Awesome. Yep. Soon we'll be trading stocks. Soon we'll be trading houses. Soon we'll be trading companies with all of the entire supply chain around it and all the employees that work with it and all that good stuff. So all on the immutable global blockchain with smart contracts, as Horace the Sun says, smart contracts for the win. Jose, tell me, what do you think about this story? Patrick Byrne issuing this on the blockchain.
Yes, absolutely. I think I actually sent you the link earlier this week about this story. I also tweeted the CEO. He didn't retweet me. I was a little sad about that. But yeah, this is absolutely great for the blockchain, for Bitcoin. We were able to see now that government and private sectors that we completely rely on are, allowing cryptocurrency in, and it's just more acceptance, which is going to contribute to the bullish sentiment that we've been seeing the past couple of months now. I think we're going a little sideways right now, but we're still, I think, week over week, slowly climbing up there, in value. So I think it's just going to add to that, and I think that it's also going to give a lot of companies another avenue to be able to, get more funding and directly connect with more people. It's kind of like how social networks allow organizations to directly communicate with their customers. In a sense, now they are not only going to be able directly to communicate with their customers easily through an easy platform, they'll be able to, share in ownership with the company that they love and that they use on a day-to-day basis. So it's going to be huge.
Awesome. Definitely agree with you on that. So I know we only got a couple people in the room, but if you guys could click on the hands up on which answer you like the most, that'd be interesting to see. Just click on the little hands on the people's icon on who gave the best answer. But so far, it's looking like Jose got a few more upvotes than
damn. Oh shit.
Oh shit.
I just blew it up. I just blew up the internet.
So we're blowing up the internet here on Bitcoin News. If you guys could go ahead and tweet out the show, that'd be great. To let people know that we're doing this live here. This will also, of course, be on the World Crypto Network. Be uploaded to that via their YouTube page once it's completed. But yeah, if you're here, Carol just joined us. Carol Isaacs, how you doing, Carol? We're just talking Bitcoin news here. If everybody could go ahead and again, just one more time, just tweet it out. Tweet out it. Let all your followers know that we're having a good time here talking Bitcoin. We're here again with Thomas from Mad Bitcoins, who is in San Francisco showing us the sites, and then we got Jose over there in Florida,
who has Mad Bitcoins in his pocket.
That's right, Mad Bitcoins got Mad Bitcoins, yo. No, and Jose is joining us all the way from Florida, so all the way across the country. And of course, I'm over here in Las Vegas, so we got a worldwide show here. Or at least a nationwide show right now. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Before we go, I do want to mention just one more thing about this topic, because this is such an interesting topic of the actual Wall Street accepting blockchain technology. And I don't know if you guys would agree with me, but I think that this year really they're going to look back on 2015 and say that really 2015 was the year for Bitcoin on Wall Street. And with Patrick Byrne's efforts, and with Blythe Masters leaving, and with everybody, JP Morgan and B of A, Bank of America, everybody creating their own blockchain projects, it just seems like we're going to look back on this year and see that. What do you think about that, Thomas? You think this will be the year of Wall Street?
I think it's been a really exciting year. It's been tough on the price and everyone, but it's come back. If you held. If you got some more, you did well, but it's always tough. People got to work, got to pay bills. But yeah, I think the Wall Street news has been really exciting. I'm disheartened by the talk of blockchain. I really think that's a nonsense talk. I think if you look at Bitcoin at all, you'll realize that the miners are paid to secure the network. And if you don't have a token of value like Bitcoin, you don't have any reason for the miners to secure the network. You don't have a distributed, decentralized ledger like Bitcoin. The reason that Bitcoin works is it can't be edited. No one company controls all the Bitcoin servers. So if you make an intranet, your own private Bitcoin, it can probably be edited. You lose most of the reason for Bitcoin. So I think it's going to take them a while, but eventually they'll realize that, and hopefully they'll come back to Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Jose, anything to add on that? 2015 being the year of Wall Street?
Yes, I think it's actually, I might actually be 2016, just because, we just had this basically, ruling by the SEC that they're basically allowing, people to be able to purchase shares through Bitcoin of a company, but, that's not really going to be taken advantage of till next year. And then once we see results of like how they're actually going to be doing this, and other companies join in, I think it's going to be a little bit of an avalanche, because we're going to see how much faster, and cheaper it is to be able to do these things with Bitcoin. On the blockchain topic, we know it's Bitcoin. A lot of people don't know. They don't necessarily come connected together. We know that it's the same thing, and obviously Bitcoin, has a much stronger, it's a much bigger cornerstone for cryptocurrency in general. But I think that it's still good anytime we can get, people writing articles about, the blockchain and talking about how, this, whatever, even if they say, Bitcoin may be blah, 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 but blockchain is going to be the future. That's good, because at the end of the day, they're going to realize that, hey, it's Bitcoin, you can't have one without the other, essentially. And actually, I just read an article from physics.org talking about, more banks in 2016 are going to be taking advantage of the blockchain, and it talks about Bitcoin. So I think it's good. I understand, where Mad Bitcoins is coming from. But, a lot of people, I think it's kind of a good thing in the sense also that a lot of people got burnt, a year ago when everything just kind of tumbled. So it might be good to reintroduce them through the technology and not necessarily the name. this particular name of Bitcoin at first to get people interested again. A lot of people there still have doubts, still kind of cringe when they hear Bitcoin because they got burnt. So I think overall it's good. But yeah, I think it's up to the evangelist to let people know that, when you're talking about the blockchain, you're really talking about Bitcoin. Yeah, there's other, blockchains out there, and like Matt Bitcoin's just saying, people can use, internets and whatnot. But if it's not accessible to everybody, then it's not really going to work.
Yeah, and even Horace, the son in the chat room, is saying how we're going to need private blockchains, but I think we're also going to need public. I think we're also, all those private blockchains are also going to need to interface with the public Bitcoin blockchain. I asked Andreas a question, Andreas Antonopoulos, on Bitcoin.com forum about this, and he said, Aziz just joined. Welcome, Aziz. I asked Andreas this question on Bitcoin.com. And he said that basically it's good. It's good for Bitcoin because we're going to need to spread this awareness. All it ends up doing is spreading the awareness of technology, of Bitcoin technology, which is in the end a good thing. So it seems like no matter which way they try to swing it, if they call it blockchain or if they call it distributed ledger, which way they try to swing it, it seems that Bitcoin is going to overtake them all. So we'll see.
I'm a distributed ledger space expert. I'll tell you that's the truth. DLS for life. I've got to beam out of here, but I'll see you guys later. Good show. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Mad Bitcoins. All right, Mad Bitcoins has left us with an English accent, so that's kind of funny.
He would have got more hands up.
Yeah.
That accent did it.
Yeah, that was what did it. See, if we had another person in here, we could do the hands up. I guess we can do the hands up with just me and you, Jose.
You guys can just give a bunch of hands up. It's okay.
We'll see which person answers which topic better than the
other.
So hold on. So, but we have to say the topic first. So let me go ahead and bring in the next topic for this week. So this is going to be, what we were talking about, going to tie directly into this. 12 more banks joined the blockchain consortium led by the startup R3. So that I think that puts them. I just pasted the link in there. I think that puts them at over 33 banks that are now, over 40 banks that are now behind this R3 initiative. So I don't know if you've heard about this, Jose. This blockchain alliance. Have you heard anything about this?
I've heard about it, but please refresh my memory.
Okay, so you can click on the link to check it out too while I'm talking. But basically, all of these banks, to me, it seems like they're running pretty scared because they see the possibility of Bitcoin and the technology that it uses, and it seems like they're running scared because now they are creating this alliance of banks where they're all going to join together, and because they're all joined together, that's going to somehow magically give them the ability to overtake Bitcoin. So to me, it seems like it seems like to me like they're running scared. They're all trying to create their own Bitcoin. And, similar to how in the 90s, everybody tried to create their own internet with CompuServe and AOL and things. And it seems they're all trying to create their own blockchain. But at the end of the day, to me, it just shows that they're super scared because at the end of the day, they're not going to be able to, in my opinion, contrary to Horace, the son's opinion here in the chat, but I think that they're not going to be able to compete with the public Bitcoin blockchain, which represents, just like the internet, permissionless innovation.
I think it's known. It's pretty much known that blockchain technology is the future. That's pretty much known. I mean, the technology is there to do everything the banks do, but better, faster, cheaper, and the banks aren't going to want Bitcoin to win. They want whatever they come up with to win, right? And so what they're going to do, they're going to come out with, hey, listen, we're using blockchain technology. We're using this and that. We're improving on it. We're making it better. We're making it easier. But at the end of the day, you know what? Are they going to be able to match the fees that Bitcoin basically
allows,
requires?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's going to be hard. I don't think
they're not going to be able to match those fees. They're just not going to. They're not going to be able to match those fees and remain profitable, period.
And here's the big thing too, and it's not just about the fees too, because you have to understand, right? That what all that mining does for Bitcoin, the most powerful network on the planet, that secures the network, that secures the Bitcoin, that secures the transactions that run over the network. So how can the banks compete without building their own network the size of Bitcoin? It doesn't seem like it's going to be, their networks will be as secure, and they won't be as robust, and they won't be as cheap. But it all comes down to the public, and the public, if the public doesn't understand this and know about this, then they're all going to leave. But at the end of the day, the free market will find better ways of doing things. Just like, how we left AOL, we left CompuServe, we left Prodigy for the public open internet.
So as far as efficiency goes, is there information or data out there, say Bitcoin versus one of the newer altcoins that may be more efficient or whatnot? You know what I'm saying? As far as say it takes 1 million computers for Bitcoin to be effective over a certain amount of usage. Now, how much less does it take to run one of the newer algorithms? Because the banks could be like, well, we could use a newer, more efficient algorithm for our cryptocurrency, and we won't need as big of a server warehouse or cloud community to handle the mining situation.
Right, but then we would ask, then how do we go about developing on your network? All the developers would go, so where's your SDK? I mean, can we just freely innovate like we can over the Bitcoin blockchain, like we can over the internet? I mean, but that's not going to happen, right? The banks would never let that happen. They would never allow any unfettered source to touch their networks, their code, their servers, and so on. And so again, at the end of the day, you have that competition again. You have the open people who want permissionless innovation that are just going to keep on developing stuff in their garages. Like Steve Jobs, they're just going to out innovate,
right?
Out innovate them. It seems. I don't see a solution from the banks to this problem.
So the only thing that I could possibly see is,
Hey Raymond, thanks for joining us. Sorry, go ahead, Jose.
The banks. One thing that banks do have, by joining together, I think they're planning to do. It's no small amount of resources, right? There's some huge resources there. They could build some gigantic, farms out there, essentially, or whatever they need, to do. Currently, obviously, Bitcoin works a little different, and cryptocurrency works a little different. That it requires, computing power, but they don't have to make it like that. You know what I'm saying? They can circumvent that situation so that it's the size of the network is not as big of an issue. Obviously, we will know that, right? We will know that you're still not getting all the same type of benefits, but the regular user may not know. Most people won't know, right?
And so that's the fear, is that the banks are going to, completely wipe out any existence in the media of Bitcoin, and just everything is going to be about the Bank of America thing or the JP Morgan chain. But at the end of the day, they can continue to do that. But their media, there's two things to this. Their media is getting less and less powerful, right? More and more people are unplugging from cable. More and more people are unplugging from ads. More and more people are unplugging from the mass consciousness that that they're projecting onto you, that they want you to believe. And then the second thing is that, again, that open innovation, how can they compete with somebody, with the rest of the world? The whole world has ideas.
Yeah.
And how can they stop from somebody in their garage coming up with some awesome idea that they combined with using the basic building blocks of Bitcoin, like maybe a multi-sig combined with a smart contract and so forth, to create this amazing new platform that everybody loves and everybody can join in and innovate on.
So this is this is how it's going to break down, basically.
Right.
So Bitcoin is going to be kind of like the WhatsApp, because Bitcoin is going to get its strength from third world countries, essentially. Right. Because the banks don't want to touch third world countries. All right. They're not going to be able to make any money from people who have no money. All right.
That's huge.
So, for example, Facebook bought WhatsApp. Why? Because they had incredible growth in areas that they haven't reached. Facebook hasn't touched. WhatsApp is like the number one messaging app platform pretty much for the entire third world, right? So if you're not a Western country, and even in westernized countries and nations, WhatsApp is picking up. And why? Because it's cheap and it's easy to use, and you have very broad access, right? The banks aren't going to be able to offer that to people. They're not going to be able to. So that's where Bitcoin is going to find its strength in the masses.
It seems so. As Andreas always says, it's about the other 6 billion.
Exactly. And that's where, like Facebook right now is trying to bring internet to all these places that don't have it. And
that's
the majority
their .org project, I think, right?
I forget which one it is, but they're basically going to be using balloons, a network of balloons to bring internet throughout the world, essentially. Now, and you got to realize that all these other countries, they rely basically on their cell phones,
Yep.
And when you can have one cell phone, the copy of the blockchain, and essentially run a banking system for a village, and then still be able to be connected with the rest of the world. That's huge. That gives them an overwhelming amount of power they never had before, and the banks are just not going to be able to compete with that. So that's basically the secret hand that Bitcoin has to,
And that's true too.
Banks hold.
I definitely agree with that. I think that there's no way the banks will be able to compete with that type of things, and so it's going to be interesting to see, because what will come first, the collapse of the current financial system or the proliferation of Bitcoin in the third world countries? Or will it happen at the same time? So it's going to
happen at the same time. The financial system, I don't think. I kind of don't want it to just completely collapse overnight, because that would pretty much bring a lot of suffering. It's going to happen
quick. Traditionally, over history, it's happened fairly fast, and people had to start trading shampoo,
right.
Things like that.
Well, what's going to happen essentially is what we want to happen. At one point or another, the banks are going to declare defeat, and they're going to have to buy into Bitcoin. And they're going to have to start using Bitcoin. And they're going to have to be the ones catching up with those third world country users, and with the community that have already taken advantage of Bitcoin and the technology. So,
and as Horace says, you technically can't run the Bitcoin blockchain on a cell phone. True yet, but at the end of the day, the technology is still advancing and marching forward. So in 5 years, maybe you will be able to. Maybe you will be able to actually host a 40 gig blockchain on your phone. Of course, the Bitcoin blockchain will be much larger than that, but at the same time, maybe there'll be pruning technologies or other different layers above the blockchain.
Well, what about that one box now that you can buy like on Amazon? That's like $21 or something like that.
Yeah. So it has like. The hard drive space is going to continue to get cheaper. Processing power is going to continue to get cheaper, and so these types of things, I think that it's only only going to ebb and flow back and forth, and there really will be no point in which any one person will be completely locked out of Bitcoin. I think that's how it's going to go. So interesting chat. For all of you in the chat room, whoever liked which liked our response better, you can click on the upvote. And we can see who liked whichever one better. Horace seems to have liked my response slightly better than yours, Jose. Oh, he's doing it to yours too.
Horace is so cool. He's the best person I know.
I don't know if it's Horace or Horus, but it looks like Horace. Yeah, Horace is the son. So what's his name? So I think we can move on to the next topic. It looks like
you already had 3 votes.
It looks like we're about tied there, Jose. So I don't know if you're ready
to max out at 83.
Yeah. I don't know if you got some more time, Jose, but we got a few more topics to go. Just a couple more topics if you can still hang out with us. I guess it's much later your time over there.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm actually watching the fights on my other screen.
Okay, cool. Multitasking. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. I'm just reading over Horace's comments because his comments have been pretty damn interesting. Yeah, quantum computing would kill BTC, but. Again, it's going to ebb and flow, because as soon as quantum computer proliferates, we'll come up with a better algorithm that needs that.
Well,
and it's just going to go back and forth.
Quantum computing also is not like traditional computing necessarily. So I don't know. I'd have to see.
Yeah, I don't know that could crack Bitcoin. I don't know if the quantum computer could even crack Bitcoin.
I just don't know that it's the most efficient computing process for the particular algorithm that Bitcoin runs.
Right. Correct.
Because quantum is good for certain things, and it's lacking on traditional processing power needs. It does things a little differently. So there should be some. There's probably some research or whatever online about it. I haven't really read too much about it. I just plus, I don't know. So how would it, Horace? How would quantum computing, for people who aren't aware exactly or don't really understand how Bitcoin relies on computing power to increase at a certain rate?
Well, now he's talking about machine learning.
Right, but I'm saying
that's not quantum computing. That's something different.
No, but whenever, say, isn't the blockchain built so that whenever something, it should, the next version or whatever, the next problem is going to be twice as hard as the previous one. So even if it solves one instantaneously, it exponentially gets harder, right?
Yeah, it's true. The more miners, the more difficulty. The less miners, the less difficulty. So it goes up and forth, goes up and down. But we've recently had some record we've had some record transactions activity on the blockchain and record hashing power, record difficulty on the blockchain. So it's been doing well. And the price, you see the price has been great too recently. It's been back in the 400s and stuff. So if you held on all year, between the 200s and 300s, you'd be doing pretty good right now, despite last year's huge down drop. But
I've been purchasing 100 a week since the last drop, and the pump and then the drop. And I had a couple months ago, I had bought a full Bitcoin at like $200, which is great.
Yeah, it's been exciting. It's been exciting, and people, it's hard to see the end of the light at the end of the road when something takes as long as a year. But even a year, it's just a small amount of time in time space. It's just a tiny little. When even humans. We live for 90, which of course or 80, which is still a small amount of time relatively. But at the same time, if people could just, see the future, be like, look, but that's what ends up happening is that here's what ends up happening every time. And it's been documented. We basically overestimate the next 2 years and we underestimate the next 8. And so with every decade, this repeats itself over and over again. We just completely overestimate with new technologies what we're going to be able to do in 2 years. And when we find out that we aren't quite there yet, people just freak out and markets panic and people leave. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think Bitcoin is part of that as well. They kind of overestimated it after 2013. They overestimated what the world was going to do. They just thought the whole world was going to adopt it by 2015 or something, like 2016. But that's just not, of course, the case. And that's not how we want it to go. We want it to go nice and slow, nice and methodic. We want upgrades to be very calculated, very well established, very well agreed upon, because we have the whole Bitcoin blockchain at stake. So we have to make sure that we methodically and very carefully upgrade it and expand.
I would also say, as I've been thinking about this, the volume that we have now, if we had the volume that we had now 2 years ago, when things started to go sour.
Well, everything would crash. Nothing could support the volume we have today 2 years ago.
But what I'm saying is that I think it may actually be undervalued right now at this point.
I still think it is, and a lot of people agree. I very much believe.
Right. So, I would say that, the next big spike, may be coming in right around spring. I'm going to just give a little...
It's going to be before the halving.
And
you can see that it's priced in a little bit now too. Again,
it's going to just jump up, I think, because I just read an article. The market share or whatnot is approaching Western Union in amounts, and I think it might actually surpass Western Union. I think it's correct, or did it surpass PayPal? I think, and then it's reaching Western Union levels or something like that. I was reading an article.
Bitcoin, not quite.
Here, I'll send you the article if I can find it.
Paste it into the chat. But I don't think we're there yet. We're still a little ways away from that PayPal does a considerable amount more than Bitcoin, but it's not going to take very long to reach those types of levels if we continue at current trajectories. If we continue growing at current rates, nothing seems to be slowing down. Nothing seems to be stopping. Like even during the whole year we had of that downswing on the price, there was still crazy amounts of evolution, crazy amounts of programming, crazy amounts of things being developed, communities being built, people all over the world learning and being educated about how money is created and things like that. So it's still just been a huge win, no matter what. Hey, Eric, thanks for joining us. We're just, wow, Eric has got a lot of followers, dude. The guy who just joined us. How you doing, Eric? We're talking Bitcoin here. We're about to move on to the next topic, but before we do, Jose pasted in a link that was talking about how Bitcoin may have approached PayPal level.
Well, it says here, in 2013, that Bitcoin overtook the former world's largest remittance network, Western Union's value of daily transactions, recording an average daily transaction volume of 257 million.
Okay.
And then it goes on to talk about Bitcoin was the 7th largest financial network in the world, just behind PayPal and Discover Network. And then it shows a few different charts there.
That's awesome.
Information-wise.
Okay. So because I also know definitely that, of course, it reached gold. Bitcoin and gold became, 1 ounce of gold became worth 1 Bitcoin briefly there in 2013. But I guess Eric says, Western Union is approaching PayPal. So that's interesting.
No, he's saying that it surpassed.
Oh, so yeah. Sorry, Bitcoin surpassed Western Union.
Surpassed Western Union and is approaching PayPal levels.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting stuff. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't see it taking longer than 2017 to pass PayPal. With the amount.
I think it's going to happen next year. To be honest,
it could happen next year because the halving is going to bring huge amounts of attention, media attention. You're going to hear it on your local news. Like this is going to be so huge that people are going to, I think, really underestimate how well this news is going to get out and how much new people the halving is going to bring in. Because everybody is going to be like, oh wow, so this does this every 4 years. So if I get in now, then 4 years from now, again when it has, then I'll be good. And it's just going to be huge, I think.
Right. So. But like you mentioned before, I think a couple of streams ago, you said that the volatility is not going to necessarily go away either. So we could approach very high numbers and then drop a few thousand, and then people will be like, oh, it's the end. So that's just something people have to be aware of. Just part of the growing pains, and the more people use it, the bigger the volume, the volatility is still going to be there. So the numbers may seem a lot bigger, but in fact, Bitcoin already survived a lot. If you look back at the past couple of years,
it's kind of mind-boggling how much
it's insane. The number of things that the blockchain has been able to overcome, and because, every article will tell you that, people try to, dismiss Bitcoin and then promote the blockchain, but like we know, it's one and the same, right? They're trying to say like, okay, the technology, but Bitcoin already has the market. You know what I'm saying? It has the power that you need to run a successful worldwide cryptocurrency network.
This is what's going to be very interesting. I think you hit the nail on the head there because 3, maybe 4 years from now, people are going to be like, and banks and stuff, maybe even 5 years, they're going to be like, okay, well, what are my choices? What does the world look like? Okay, well, we have Bitcoin just completely exploding, taking over almost mainstream. And then, well, how are we going to do? Are we going to build our own Bitcoin? No, everybody at that point is going to be like, no, we're going to use Bitcoin. Just like in the internet, after AOL, Prodigy, and those, when nobody said, okay, let's build another AOL. Let's build another product. They were like, no, we're going to build our own website. We're going to build our own thing on top of this open internet that's clearly winning out. So it seems like, in a few years, they're going to see Bitcoin just continue to edge out every other option, every other choice, every other thing.
And we may see whatever the banks come up with become successful. We may see lots of people.
Oh, there will be success, just like AOL.
Joining that service, but like you said, like when I remember using AOL and being like, so I'm actually paying extra to use AOL, but I'm actually not using AOL. I'm still on the internet. And so why am I paying more? And, people are going to learn, they're actually going to learn the kind of the efficiency from the bank, whatever bank, crypto or blockchain or whatever they come out with. They're going to like it, but then they're going to realize, well, I can get a lot more access if I just, join the Bitcoin blockchain and start using that with a lot less fees. So that's pretty much
welcome, Michael.
how I see it going.
Yeah, I think. I just want to say, hey, welcome, Michael. We're just talking Bitcoin here. Yeah, I think really it's going to be interesting to see because I'm still a little bit worried about the banks, like you said, making millions, just like AOL did in the beginning. I think that they are going to have some pretty successful projects, but at the end of the day, I don't know how the kids and the young audience is going to react because they're going to go into their bank and they're going to be like, so. I've been using cryptocurrency since I was young, because obviously cryptocurrency requires no age, and I was transferring money and stuff. And now they're going to go into this thing when they turn 18. They're going to go into this bank and they're going to be like, well, what do you mean you're only open 9 to 5? What do you mean you're going to charge me all this money just to store my money here? What do you mean you're going to charge me this much money and take this long to transfer money over to somewhere else? No matter how good they're going to try or attempt to build their private blockchain systems and things like that, it just seems like there's just no way they're going to be able to compete with Bitcoin when it comes to the young audience, when they're going to have their choices put out and laid out in front of them. It seems like they're going to choose Bitcoin every time over a regular bank.
Yep, we hope so. I mean, I think it's
going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch.
I think it'll just become obvious after a while that what the best choice is. Kind of like how the browser wars and people using Internet Explorer forever, and then realizing, well, heck, Chrome, Firefox, there's a lot better options out there. And I think since Bitcoin's been around through all of that, and with a market share, there's no better option.
Cool. All right, so let's move on to the next topic then here. Let's see. So I think, we pretty much agreed that we didn't move on to the next topic. Yeah, okay, so I started something else. So let's move on to the actual next topic here. Next topic is 10 new Bank of America cryptocurrency patents published. Bank of America went ahead and published some cryptocurrency patents this week. And they got over 10 of them, and they were, I tell you, I don't know if you got a chance to look through them, Jose, but they're so basic, and so it's like trying to copyright doing the most basic actions, and I just don't think that these things are going to fly. Did you get a chance to see that article?
I didn't, but did you say that were they awarded the patents, or did they just file?
They were just filed. They said they was published. So what does published mean? Does published means filed? Does published means...
I think...
I got the link in there if you want. Oh, yeah. Horace says they won't get them. Yeah, I just don't think there's any way that they're going to be able to get those patents. They're way too vague, way too general. See, Horace says they filed. They haven't gotten them yet. That's what I'm saying. They're published means that they published their patent, what they think should be patents. And so now they have to go through the whole process. But, man, these companies, and they're just going to, just like Coinbase, we can't blame them for trying. Yeah, like Horace said.
I mean,
it's going to be interesting to see. At least Coinbase. I hope that they're up front with them, like Coinbase was when they said, "Look, we got these patents, but it's only because we didn't want anybody else to get these patents that would abuse them. So we're not going to abuse them." And I hope that they do something with that. But we know how that works out usually.
Well, I mean, I think that the patent also is specific to how their particular approach is to doing those things. I don't think it's necessarily just, real-time conversion system. I think it's their specific twist on a real-time conversion system. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's just that broad for say.
Well, others are
because if you actually click on them and actually read the patent, it basically goes on into detail as their particular approach. I mean, some of them are kind of broad, but
they're still super broad.
For the most part, are kind of specific on like their particular method.
I don't think they're gonna get them. And even if they did, we can only hope that they do something good with him. But it's Bank of America; they're not going to do anything good with him. So
Yeah.
let's just hope that they don't get him. And these patents, I hope that Bitcoin, the blockchain itself, can actually help with this whole patent system. As we know, it's a global public ledger, and that'd be something perfect that patents can do. Whoever publishes, this thing first on the blockchain, well, we have cryptographic mathematical proof that this guy published it first. We know, without a doubt. No need for a court, no need for lawyers and all that kind of stuff. So yet another thing that Bitcoin is going to disrupt and change how we do.
Yeah, besides, Bitcoin kind of works outside of the whole patent system. So it's a worldwide ledger. It's not, United States ledger. It's not Russian ledger. So those patents, wouldn't really matter anyways,
True.
even if they were awarded.
Exactly. Patents are just yet another thing of the state that, of course, is just local to you. So, I'm a bit more of an anarchist. I'm not a big fan of the state as we know it and understand it today. And I think that, the blockchain is really going to help disrupt that and help take the borders down, because at the end of the day, those borders aren't there to keep others out. They're keep you in, and that is what they're for. So we need to throw down the borders, and we need to embrace Bitcoin. So we got a new viewer, Will in China. How you doing? We're just joining here talking Bitcoin. Man, these people, these members that are joining in have like such huge amounts of followers. Like Will in China's got 670 followers. So welcome. If you like the show, everybody, go ahead and tweet it out. We're going to be here for at least another few minutes anyway, for sure. So go ahead and tweet it out. Let people know that we're live and that we're having a good time talking Bitcoin. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right. So I think we're going to move on to the next topic, because I tell you, these patent things, they really get me going. I really think that the patent system is ripe for disruption with Bitcoin. But then again, every type of centralized system is kind of ripe for disruption with Bitcoin, because it just does everything so much better. So let's see. So let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is Microsoft adds new blockchain services to their software sandbox in Azure. Tell me, Jose, what do you think about this?
Which particular services did they add?
So let's take a look. They added a couple ones. The big two that I found were interesting were Ethereum and Factom. Those are the big ones. I know you've heard about Ethereum, but you've heard about Factom, right?
Not as much as I have about Ethereum. I actually own quite a bit of Ethereum, and I'm definitely, I'm bullish on Ethereum, but we'll see what happens. I know that it's more of the foundation, structurally, they had some structural problems, because they suffered a lot from Bitcoin going down in price like it did. So they may not have as much capital to be able to promote and work with. But this is a perfect example of, if it wasn't good, I don't think Microsoft would be adding it. They obviously cherry-picked the particular technology that they wanted to use. They thought had the most benefits and potential use and growth. So, I think it's great. I think that we're going to see a lot more of this because a lot of people do want to dabble with, cryptocurrency, and a lot of developers are already familiar with a lot of other technologies, and if they can use them in an environment that is familiar to them and natively, then the more the better. That's pretty much my take on it. I'm just reading right now a little bit about Factom Inc.
Yeah, Factom is cool because like you said, they cherry picked two of probably the ones that had the potential for the most
potential
disruption, and it seems like they picked. There's one more they should have picked, which is Augur, but Augur is really super amazing. Of course, we know about Augur, but Factom is cool because basically it's just it's a combination of like a proof of like proofofexistence.com. It's like a combination of that, like we were just talking about, like patents and proving that you own things, ownership of stuff. But also it's a data layer, so it's kind of like a completely decentralized box.com or or Dropbox. It's like a kind of like a decentralized Dropbox as well.
That's pretty cool.
So it seems like it could definitely be huge.
I think the only thing with Augur is Augur's a little bit more nichey, I think.
Yeah, it is.
So that's,
the
I think
potential is so much bigger, right? Isn't the potential so much bigger?
It's really interesting. I think we have to see how that one plays out. I think it's kind of like it's kind of almost like Twitter in a sense, because Facebook, you have more capability. If you're comparing it to social networks, you can do more things. But Augur is more like a Twitter, but for like the prediction market. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so it's like you said, it's more niche.
More niche.
Yeah, so the Factom can affect every business. Every business needs Factom, and Ethereum, of course. Everything who wants to create anything on a blockchain platform needs Ethereum, pretty much. So,
right.
I guess that's true. Yeah, but both of those services now are available on Azure, which is absolutely great. Obviously, I'm a fan of Azure. I'm a .NET developer myself, so I love everything to do with .NET, Visual Studio, and SQL, and all that good stuff in Azure. So that's my tools of the trade. That's what I use.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft is known to, they kind of have to look for technology early on, actually even more than other companies, because the competition is so hardcore that they essentially want to find tools that are going to make a difference for them and are going to bring more people in. So they're kind of more of on the cutting edge of things, just because they have to in order to remain competitive. They have a lot of competition in their sector. So I think it's one of the reasons why you see them kind of delving into crypto more than others.
Yeah. Horace even says, Microsoft had to step their game up or die, and that's true. Basically. I mean, they did a couple of amazing things. They created Azure to compete, of course. Then the second amazing thing is they open source .NET, and now they're really the first to bring in cryptocurrencies to Azure to their global platform. So they are really, it seems to be stepping up their game a lot, and it seems that it's paying off because it's winning over people. All the tools are free now, Visual Studio, and it's open source and works on anything Linux, Mac, Windows, and so it's really just expanding and growing like crazy. And it's really interesting to see Microsoft continue to implement one technology after another. First Ethereum, and then now Factom, and then others, one after another. While Amazon isn't doing anything, they are completely silent about anything to do with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Amazon, I mean, both on their website, like Amazon.com, and on their platform. It just seems that they're really just not getting on the bus. They're not getting on board with the whole cryptocurrency train.
Right. I mean, Amazon, Jeff Bezos has so much stuff going on, and it's not like, Microsoft kind of has, I guess, if you will, the time to be able to look at these, more alternative technologies, if you will. He has such a huge workload. I mean, he has Amazon, which is ridiculous right now. He has freaking, was it Blue Origin or whatever, or Blue Horizons? The space technology company that he's running.
Holy crap, I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, so he's all over the place, and I think that since Amazon's a market, right? They don't really care so much. They just are going to accept it, essentially. You know what I mean?
They could save so much money, though, man, if they did. I mean, because their margins are already razor thin, and they could save just millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in processing transactions, per year if they could utilize Bitcoin, really. So we'll see. Because it seems like to me like it's inevitable that they will, because their margins are so thin that they have to eventually begin accepting this type of thing eventually. But it's just funny how they're just so silent on it now. They're going to have to do something in 2016. 2016, they're going to have to announce something to do with crypto. Either a project they're working on, or Amazon accepting it, or drones talking to each other in it. Just something. They're going to have to announce how they're working on blockchain technology somehow.
And also Bezos, like, he must not really be too interested in general, because I mean, if Bezos was interested in it, it would be like instantly, on Amazon. So maybe he needs a little bit convincing. That may happen next year, like you said.
Yeah, I think you're right. Horst is saying too. Like, I think he's saying just like what you're saying, is that it's a little bit too early. It's even if they tried to accept it right now, like, they'd probably crash the Bitcoin network. I mean, So I'm sure they're probably waiting for more liquidity to come in and into the market before they really start. As really are a lot of different players. They're just waiting for that liquidity to fill up a little bit more. But if you look at a recent article was posted on Reddit the other day about how it shows every single money market available and their sizes. So everything from gold to derivatives to like the whole U.S. GDP and such like that. And these are all silos that filled up Forex and things like that. So Bitcoin, it's just another silo. And it seems if that could just begin filling up a little bit, we'd see billions and billions and billions in that within just the next coming years. So
absolutely.
People, if the money's there, people can see it. Somebody's going to take advantage of it somehow, some way, and somebody's going to bring it to market. So we'll see how it goes. It's just been a little bit slow going, but, like I said, for a lot of us in the space, it may seem slow going, but for everybody outside of the space, it's just light speed. Bitcoin's been moving light speed faster than anything else out there. So we'll see how it goes. But I guess that can about wrap it up, because I don't have any other topics for the week, Jose. So just wanted to thank you for joining me on the show. I have to talk Bitcoin every week because or else I'll go insane. So I'm glad that you were able to be here today. Oh, hey, Richard just joined us. We're just about to close the show, man. So sorry you missed it, but this will be available. This is recorded. So you guys can come back and check it out and join us next time, Richard, and anybody else who wants to check us out. We're here every week. We're going to probably move the show to Mondays so that Monday evening, so that more people can join in and so that more people can have an opportunity to be a host and stuff like that. So, Jose, where can we find you, man? Where can we find you? And
you can find me on Twitter at TruePix. You can also find me on Instagram. I believe it's at TruePix, or maybe it's TruePixel. That's the best place.
Cool. All right. So yeah, maybe Jose will be here next week. We'll see. We had a pretty good show this week, so we'll see how many slots are available. Thanks again, Jose, for joining us. You can find me on Twitter at @the1vortex. And this video will, of course, be up very soon on the World Crypto Network, so look for that as well on their YouTube channel. And thanks again, Jose, for joining. Thanks again, guys.
My pleasure.
Thanks again for joining us, guys. Pretty good show. I'm glad everybody was here to join in. And if you guys have any questions, again, just hit us up on Twitter, and we'll be here next week.
Hasta la vista.
See you guys later. Bye-bye.